Welcome. It is September 10th, 2011. Vlog number. Oh, what vlog is this? I don't know. I think it's like 29. This will be I'll be doing two vlogs tonight, considering it is in less than 10 hours, or less than that. Will be the 10-year anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the 2001 attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people in Washington, D.C., New York City, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And this particular vlog, I want to kind of... I've never really talked about, aired out, or made a vlog or anything about that day and my personal experience on that day. So I want to make a vlog, kind of recalling, and we're going back 10 years ago, actually 10 years ago right now, and it's almost 10 after 10 at night. I believe I was at my ex-girlfriend's house. Was there till like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and went home. At the time, I was working in downtown Oakland, California, at the Oakland Tribune Tower, working for A&G Newspapers, which is Alameda Newspaper Group. And I was, like I said, I was at my girlfriend's house till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and got home about 1:30 and fell asleep. Obviously not knowing that in a mere 5 hours from then, I'd wake up and the world essentially would be forever changed. My daily routine usually meant that I'd wake up about 6 o'clock in the morning, be on a BART train into Oakland, because I live just south of Oakland in San Leandro. Would hop on a BART train, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transit, and I would be a half an hour ride into Oakland, and short walk from the 13th Street BART station, or 12th Street BART station in downtown Oakland, to the Tribune Tower. So I would usually either drive down to BART, park my car, or I'd take a bus down to the BART station, or sometimes I'd walk. It's not too far of a walk from my house where I was living at the time. Mind you, this was in 2001, so I was about a year, almost a little over a year out of high school. So I got a job at A&G Newspapers in downtown Oakland earlier in the year, and was there for probably about 6 months by this time. So anyways, I woke up the next morning to my dad came in. I lived at home with my father and my grandmother at the time. And I went to bed pretty happy, good mood, hanging out with my girlfriend the night before. Things are going good. But woke up the next morning, my dad comes in, wakes me up shortly before 6, I think. And timelines might be off on this a little bit as far as times and everything. But he comes in, wakes me up, says, "Dude, you need to come out here and check this out. It's all shit's going down." And my dad, very much like me, I kind of take up from my father as far as, being politically motivated. At the time, I was very disgusted with what was going on, shortly after the 2000 election and that whole bullshit situation. So I was kind of, coming to my own grips with the political reality of our country. And I didn't vote for neither Bush nor Gore, so I kind of didn't want either one of them, and what happened afterwards was a total debacle. But anyways, so he says, "Yeah, the shit's going down." I'm like, half asleep, less than 5 hours of sleep, waking up going, okay, what's going on? earthquake in Los Angeles. I don't know. You know, it's happened before. I woke up and really early in the morning, and the Northridge earthquake down here had happened. So, anyways, I get up and wipe, sit up in bed, wipe the sleep out of my eyes, and stumble into the living room. And on the TV, what appeared to be a building, which I couldn't tell at first what it was, but a building that was on fire. Obviously, something had happened there. So I'm like, what's going on? My grandmother's sitting next to the TV. My father's kind of standing up with his back against the heater. He's like, that's the World Trade Towers. And I'm like, okay, wow, yeah, it is. And I'm like, what happened? It's all plane hit it. And I'm like, plane hit it? Okay. What happened, and kind of plane? And they're like, we don't know. Not sure if it's a commuter plane, not sure if it's a commercial airline. And it was only maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes after I'd walked out that the second plane had hit the tower, at the South Tower. And it was then, at that moment, when obviously it was more than just an accident, that I remember, I knew I had to go to work in downtown Oakland at the Tribune Tower, which is probably one of the most iconic buildings in downtown Oakland, and here the shit's going down in New York. I don't know what's going on. Obviously it's not an accident. This is some sort of planned attack. And they showed the replay of the plane, and yeah, it was a jumbo jet airliner. And it was at that moment that I remember getting really sick to my stomach. I almost thought I was going to throw up, just because I was like, whoa, this is some heavy shit going on. And online, on the TV, they're showing people jumping out of the buildings, which is pretty fucking sick. And just, I just remember that whole experience of watching the buildings, the planes hitting the buildings. So I'm sitting there kind of not really even getting dressed, because I don't know what to do. I don't know whether or not to go into work. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I work for a newspaper, so I know that there's going to be people there. And obviously working on a newspaper would be a good opportunity to kind of see, newspaper people doing their job and the time. And basically it'd be like being around in '63 when Kennedy was blown away and being at the San Francisco Chronicle or something. So I decided, I'm going to go in. I wasn't going to call in or anything sick. I said, I'm going to go in. I'm going to see what's going on. Obviously, if anything changes, I can come home. And so basically, yeah, second plane hit towers, and then the South Tower eventually collapses. And I'm like, okay, well, I get ready for work. My dad gives me a ride to BART. I get on BART train, a little late. I think a little later than usual, just because of what, staying at home and kind of contemplating whether or not I wanted to go into work. And basically, yeah, so we, get on BART. And usually on my BART train, people are very quiet. People are reading, listening to music. I had, my Discman with me, and Pennywise, Land of the Free in there, and I was listening to it and kind of watching, and I sit on the BART train, and I'm noticing that even my headphones, which are kind of noise canceling, and I've got, Pennywise going through, I'm noticing that people are talking to each other. People are huddled around TV sets and radio sets, and they're listening and they're watching, and everybody's talking with each other. It was the first time I've ever seen this on BART. People really talking to each other. I'm finally getting to Oakland. Go up and my boss basically says it's just another work day. It's terrible what's going on. If anything obviously happens in downtown Oakland, we'll make, some sort of decision then, I guess. It was really hard to do any work that day. I mean, I was in my stock room because that was my job, was to take stuff to all around the the newspaper. It was a simple order. I can't think. Order supply, office supply guy. So basically, the whole company relied on me to get copy paper, basically. And I was at work when when the North Tower came down. I was home when when Flight 77 hit the Pentagon, but yeah, I mean, I stayed the whole day and worked as much as I could. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the Tribune came out with a special newspaper commemorating the day. And big old, front page, huge picture of the second plane hitting the tower, saying "terrifying" on the front of it. I remember, reporters and photographers running around, stopping by my stockroom trying to get extra film, and it was pretty hectic. It was pretty crazy to watch a newspaper work on a day in which this major event happened. And I stayed the whole day. The streets were pretty empty in Oakland, I remember. Coming home, the BART trains were pretty much, there was nobody on BART. I came home, turned on the TV, they were updating all the information. Watched WTC 7 fall after I got home, not too long after I got home, 5:20. And, eventually turned off the TV because I was tired of seeing it. I was tired of seeing people jumping. I was tired of seeing the planes hitting the buildings over and over again. And I remember going to bed completely silent, no radio, because I used to listen to like KGO at night or something at night, or I'd have my TV on. I had everything off, and I laid in bed, and I remember, this is going to change the world we live in. It's never going to be the same. And unfortunately, that's correct. So, yeah, 9/11. 9/11 forever changed the world we live in. And that's kind of my account of how my day went. Just being a regular, office supply guy for the entire newspaper company of A&G newspapers, and living 9/11 the day of, kind of trying to take care of work, trying to take care of orders, while kind of staying tuned to what's going on in New York and Washington and Pennsylvania. So that's how it went down for me on that day. And I went to bed, like I said, knowing that the world was going to essentially change after that day. And I thought, this must have been what my father felt when Kennedy was assassinated. This must be what my grandmother thought when Pearl Harbor was attacked. And it just was one of those days. So 9/11, 10 years later, coming up to the 10-year anniversary. And that's where we're at. So that's it. And that's my account. Alright, adios.